everyone, it's me again, Buggy, and today we're gonna be drawing backgrounds for 7 days. Okay, so first of all, in most of my illustrations, I don't have backgrounds, and if I do, they're like just color blotched backgrounds. So I decided that I practice drawing backgrounds so that I can have beautiful backgrounds in my illustrations, okay? So, okay, day one, I chose this image from Xiaohongshu. I saw it and I was like, oh, this is actually really pretty. I wonder if I could replicate that. So I attempted to replicate that drawing, and as you can see from the speed paint, I did not use a ruler to get the proportions or even the how could it okay even the angles. I didn't get the angles on this drawing. I just kind of gave up on the rulers because I did try to draw it with the ruler first, but I just kind of gave up on that whole thing and just decided to freehand this. So this is what it's looking like so far, and I can't say I can't say I'm proud of this. I can't. Like, it looks like, no, like when I was literally drawing this, I thought this was looking so fire, but when I actually looked back at it after I finished drawing it, I was like, this doesn't look anything like the image. It doesn't look anything like the reference. And in my mind, I'm telling you, this looks like a masterpiece, bro. So I don't even know. But yeah, this is where we're at for day one. I kind of gave up on this. And we're going to kind of see a trend here continuing on. This is it in grayscale, by the way. Okay, so day two, I decided to do a more grassy like background thing. And for this drawing, I used, like, for most of my drawing, literally all of my drawings, I use the lasso tool to block out the shapes and stuff, and also the ruler and stuff. So I drew the clouds. Actually, the clouds were not too bad. I actually really like how the clouds look, and I kind of do like how I drew the grass. It kind of looks like a vector image, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Actually, I really like this. And even though the trees don't look like trees to me, at least, they kind of look good. I kind of like it. So I was really proud of this when I was finished. I looked at the reference image. I, I looked at my drawing and I was like, it's not bad. It's actually really, really good. Like, this is actually really good. Um, so, by the way, this is the time that I downloaded a new brush. So it was kind of a vibe. We were kind of vibing, trying out the new brush and drawing the grass and stuff. So I do really love this one, and here it is in the grayscale. So yeah. So for day three, I decided I wanted to do like some type of scene with like the road or something. I was like, I actually found this reference also on Xiaohongshu, I believe. Yeah, I totally believe I found this on Xiaohongshu. Like, it was like this train and like this station, and like, not station, like a rest stop, and also like this scene in the background. I was like, oh, this is actually really pretty. I wonder if I could draw this. So I actually used the ruler to this drawing also. I also do love how I made the shadows look. I kind of like the shadows. I wish I would have darkened the shadows that were on the train and actually made the windows that were in the train and the doors. But I was just like over this drawing. Matter of factly, I was over it. I really love how I draw the clouds in this one also. And the sea, it's kind of alright. I can see the sea. It was pretty. I actually really do like this drawing. I really like it. I love how I did the shadows. That's one thing I like. The shadows under the train, and for the pole, I really love those shadows. It's just so pretty. So yeah, I really love this drawing, and now we're moving on to day 4. I think it's day 4, right? Okay, so this day I decided to draw this kind of stone like entrance type thing, and I found this reference also on Xiao Hongshu, believe it or not. Most of these references are from Xiao Hongshu. I just really liked these pictures and I really loved the shadows and the contrasts that were in this image. And I wanted to try and replicate that, so spare me. Will you spare me? Okay, so for this drawing, as you can see, I did lay everything down in a shade of purple, but I changed my mind and just went for the gray colors. So you can see for the top of the gate, that part there, I actually didn't do the, I think it was a lion head uh carving thing into the wall. I didn't do that at all. I just kept it black up there. I kept it dark. But for this, I actually kind of, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't hate it because, to be honest, the contrasts weren't really contrasting. I have this kind of thing that I do when I feel like the shadows are too dark. I just throw a airbrush over there and airbrush the surrounding colors, which isn't too bad, but it is bad when you realize that I'm literally dulling the contrast in the image. I kind of I don't know what is wrong with me. I just always end up doing this, and I we can see a pattern here. The drawing kind of looks a flat, and I also actually didn't even draw the fabric that were on the line. I don't know why I didn't do that. I think I was just like, I can't be bothered, so I didn't do that. I don't know. It was all right, I guess. I kind of did like this one. I only liked it because I added like this purple kind of tint in there. I really liked that. That was really pretty. So yeah, I kind of did like that. Moving on. This is day 5. I'm sure this is day 5 because the day when I was drawing this, I actually looked at the image and was like, huh, this is kind of interesting. It looks simple, but I know it's not simple, but I do want to give it a try. So I started blocking out the rocks on the sides and, you know, giving it some shadows and stuff. As you can see, I use a lasso tool here to shape out everything basically. Um, for this image, the background of the image kind of looks all right. I kind of like it, but the foreground, I didn't even put the flowers. As you can see, I don't know what's wrong with me and Flora, but I didn't put any vegetation on any of the drawings with vegetation that and are actually still the vegetation. Yeah, so I don't know what's wrong with me and the vegetations, but alas. So for the grass, I used a desaturated green to kind of fit the desaturated green I saw in the image. There's not much to say about this drawing actually. It went by pretty fast. It was okay. Okay, so this image, okay, wow. Okay, for this image, I don't know what happened for this image, to be honest. So I found this image on the reference image on Pinterest, actually. Believe it or not, I found it on Pinterest this time. And I decided, you know what? I want to give this a try. I'm going to try something with this one, right? I really loved how the shadows were really dark, as I'm saying. I always like how the contrast looks in the images, but whenever I actually draw them out, the contrast is bare minimum, even if there probably isn't contrast. Okay, that's besides the point. As you can see, I actually used a ruler for this one and also freehanded some of this stuff because I couldn't be bothered, you know. So when I was drawing this, it was actually a vibe. As you can see, I started out with the shadows. No, I started out laying the flat colors for the seats and the bust, and then I started with the shadows. Um, it was really interesting. I really love the colors I used in the shadow and the colors I used to surround the shadows, but you're not going to see that yet. But I do really like those, but everything else I did not like. I didn't like how I did the shadows at all. Not like the colors, but like how light I made the shadows instead of making them dark. I didn't like how I did the seat. The seat's very light. As you can see, my image is very bright compared to the reference image. I don't know how all my images end up looking like this. They look very flat and lacks contrast in compared to the reference images I'm using. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna get there sooner or later. I'm gonna be one of those beautiful background artists. But there isn't really much to say about this. I kind of did like how I did the yellow things there, but um, the outs the sea was alright too. The windows were something. I guess I was just feeling a bit lazy when doing this one. And that wraps up day 6. And here's the grayscale image. As you can see, like there's little to no contrast on this image, bro. The only contrast that's actually there is literally the windowsills and the everything else. So, okay, for day 7, believe it or not, guys, I actually did this one. I made up this scenery. Like, I created this background out of my head and also some references. I like combined references to create the perfect thing, the perfect background kind of thing. Like, I wanted to have some pillars in the front and like a building at the back, and I really wanted the building to be yellow. So I saw this yellow building on Pinterest on a hill, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna use that for the background, and for the foreground I'm gonna use the pillars for the foreground. So yeah. So as you can see, I really went into detail with these pillars. I was gonna do both of the sides individually, but then I was like saying to myself, why would I do that when I could just flip the image? Like, right? I could just flip the rendering, save me some time. So I rendered the pillar on the left. It was really kind of cute. I do really love how it turned out. I really like the yellow to blue kind of vibe that it's giving. So yeah. I also outlined it with a little orange tint. Most of these were outlined, so I did really like what I did. And for the hills, I do really like the hills. I also made the sky gradient from yellow to blue. As I told you guys, I wanted to try out like this a new art style with a little pastel-y vibes. So I guess that's why all my images kind of looking so bright and light and pretty. But I really love how I did the hills. Like, I love how I did the hills. They were really pretty. I like the colors that were on the hills. For the building in the background, I started off with a desaturated yellow, and then I was like brushing on some blues and greens, because the hill that it's on is green, bounce light or whatever. So I was doing that, and then I started to render it a bit, and then I remembered that the top of the building that I was looking at in the reference image was red, so then I changed that top to red. I added in some windows, did a little more color brushing for bounce light or whatever, and I don't know, guys. I did some clouds just cause, and I came back to the pillars actually and made the bottom part of the pillars a bit lighter, a little bit bluer, and also the top part's a little bit blue also, because the sky's blue, bounce light or whatever. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't know what the heck I'm doing with the colors. So, but at the end of the day, this is what everything turned out. I kind of do love this image. And here's the grayscale. As you can see, I still have no contrast in this image. The only contrast is literally the roofs, the windows, the door, and the hill in the foreground. But other than that, I literally have no contrast in this image, but it's kind of really pretty, so I don't really care. Maybe I'm just not meant for contrast. I'm not meant for dark contrasts. I think I'm scared of shadows, man. I think I'm scared of the shadows, or making the shadows too dark. Maybe this is just how it's gonna be for me. A pastel dream. So that's it for the video today, guys. And also, I gotta tell you guys something. It's a little secret, but I kind of cheated in this challenge. I kind of cheated. What am I saying, Buggy? How did you cheat in this challenge? I did this kind of thing where I did 2 drawings per day. I know, scandalous. I know, but I was just so excited to do this challenge that I ended up doing 2 drawings a day. But maybe that's why they look so flat and similar. but I do really liked drawing every one of them. And that concludes the video for today. Maybe when I come back on here, my backgrounds are going to be more contrasty, more flawless, more beautiful, more dark. Maybe I should do some edgy backgrounds. Anyways, bye guys. Thank you for watching this video.